Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Organized with Joy, and welcome to another declutter with me. It is the end of June, so I wanted to share with you everything I decluttered in the month of June. As always, this will be a collab, so check out my description box for the playlist link to get even more motivation to declutter things around your home. But y'all, I've been doing these videos every month for over a year now, and I simply cannot believe that I still have stuff to get rid of. And every month I think, okay, next month there won't be quite as much stuff because I feel like the last few months I've had a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff today to share with you. So, a lot of little random things. But let's get into this. I hope this brings you tons of motivation and gives you ideas of things you could declutter around your home today. So let's start with the pile of clothes. I feel like every month I just keep accumulating clothes to get rid of. So that's the first thing. Next up, I cleaned out our hall closet, and I've been sitting on the fence with these 3 jackets for probably a couple of years now. Honestly, maybe more than that. But I know that I did not wear these at all last winter. And I tried all 3 of them on, and I think the reason is because they're not very comfortable. They're all kind of tight on me. So I'm gonna go ahead and finally let these go. Also in the hall closet, I found a beanie and a pair of gloves. I have so many beanies, and so this one can go. And then these gloves, they are not very comfortable. I don't know if they're made of wool or what, but I have a pair of lighter gloves that I tend to use over these. Also in the hall closet were a few pair of shoes that belonged to my son, and I noticed that he doesn't really ever wear these. Maybe that's why they were in the hall closet, but he said I can get rid of them. Next up is a couple of, ooh, that's upside down, Halloween items. So I don't really decorate for Halloween. When my kids were younger, we would carve pumpkins, and that was kind of like the Halloween decor I had out. But I would also put these out. But ever since my kids have been older, I pretty much just put these out the week of Halloween. And I think I've decided I don't really want to hold on to decor that I only use 1 week out of the entire year. So these are going. Next up, I have a few candles. I just don't really use these candles, or I don't remember the last time I used them. And this one, I kind of hesitated getting rid of because it actually smells really good. But it was in my candle drawer. Yes, I have a candle drawer. And it was making a stain, a black stain in the drawer. So I think this one has to go because of that. So not too long ago, my ring light broke and I had to buy a new one. It's out in the garage right now, so I won't bring it in here to show you, but this is the bag that it came with to store it in. And then I had all these pieces that also go with that ring light, so I'm just getting rid of it all. Okay, I'm gonna break this video for 1 minute because I know I have some clips to insert to show you some things that I got rid of that I didn't want to hold on to. I wanted to just get rid of them right away. I decluttered them at the beginning of June, and so they were either big or I just didn't want to have them around. So I will insert that clip here so that you can see those items as well. Okay, I want to show you what I got rid of from my tool chest toolbox clean out, just so that I can go ahead and pass these along instead of allowing them to sit in my garage for the rest of the month. I have both of these toolboxes. The top one's actually a tackle box, but we used it as an extra toolbox. And then I have a bunch of random screws here, and then also a bunch of random parts. A lot of them are these bigger wall anchors, which I do not like to use these really big wall anchors because they make just a really huge hole in the wall. And then I also have these screws. I'm not really sure what project this was from, but these are definitely screws that I have not gone back to. And honestly, I feel like when things are easy to get and not very expensive, if I'm on the fence about keeping it, I'll go ahead and get rid of it. It's super easy to run to Home Depot and inexpensive to buy another box of those if we need 4-inch exterior screws. And then I have a random glove that doesn't have a match. I have 2 sets of work gloves, so I don't think we need a third, especially since that one doesn't have a match. This I don't remember buying. I don't know, maybe my husband purchased it, a carving knife set, but I have not used it. I have not seen anyone in my family use it anytime recently, so I'm gonna let that go. And then also this is a leveler that shoots like a line across the wall, and we have not used this in a very long time, so I'm going to go ahead and let that go. And then finally, this set of plastic drawers that used to hold some of our bigger power tools and other random things. I will just show you really quickly in case you missed that video where I reorganized all of our tools. This is what our tools are now in, and so that is why I'm getting rid of the tool chest and toolboxes. Okay, next up is this bag of Allen wrenches. Not too long ago, I cleaned out our garage like tool chest, and I initially held on to these, but in that video I asked for your opinion on if I should be holding on to these, and several people suggested that I just get rid of them, and I was kind of leaning that way anyway, so that was the push that I needed to just let these go. And speaking of projects, I did want to say a couple other things that I got rid of. Not too long ago, I also did an attic space clean out, and in that video you might have noticed I had like these mats down up there just to make it easier to walk up there, and they really were not in good shape. We've had them for a very long time. We used them when our kids were younger for their playroom, and I did want to replace them with a more neutral color anyway, but I didn't go out of my way to go purchase new ones. But at Costco last time I saw some mats that were just plain black, and they were a pretty good deal in my opinion, so I decided to just go ahead and grab those and replace those mats with the black ones. And speaking of that attic space clean out video, I was also on the fence about all of the Bible studies I had saved up over the years. In more recent years, I've been getting rid of Bible studies right after I finished them unless they were super meaningful to me. And I asked your opinion on that as well, and several people suggested just decluttering those. So I did go ahead and declutter those as well. Next up is just a bunch of pills. Either they're gone or they're just ones that we no longer take. Not too long ago, I had my husband help me declutter our pills because we had so many that I felt like had either expired because they seemed like they'd been in there for so long, or just I noticed that he wasn't really taking them. So getting rid of these. Next up is a tablecloth, and I had this for our previous table, which we actually replaced several years ago. But I think the reason I held on to this is I also had an outdoor table that it fit on, but I got rid of that outdoor table whenever we got the fire table outside, so this no longer fits on any table that we own. More random kitchen stuff. Okay, these 2 lids, I don't know where the bottoms are, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let those go. I somehow found more of these little toppers that I bought these bottles from Amazon that have like a pour spout on top, and these toppers go on the pour spout, but I do not use them. And lastly, this has been on my radar for a while to get rid of. If you don't know what this is, it's a cheese slicer. And I was kind of sad to get rid of this because I think we've literally had this our entire marriage, which is 26 years. But I do not use this. This cuts cheese so thin that nobody wants that thin of a piece of cheese. So, goodbye. Next up is this little book that you can use to organize all of your pet records. You can even put like pictures in here and fill out all of this information that I never filled out. I used to mostly just use it to hold the vaccine records and vet bills and stuff like that, but I decided to just make a folder in our filing cabinet to hold it instead of keeping this, because I don't use any other function on this in this book. Next up, something else that was really hard to let go of, but something else that's also been on the fence for a while. These are all the directories from over the years of my kids being in elementary and middle school. I definitely used to use them a really long time ago to contact parents of my kids' friends. But nowadays with social media, it's really easy to contact people, and probably some of the phone numbers and addresses are not even correct in here anymore, because most of these are from 8-10 years ago. So I'm gonna recycle those. We're nearing the end, I promise. Just a few more random things. Next up is these oat milk lattes. So I admit that this was an impulse buy at Costco. My daughter really loves lattes, so I thought that this would be something she would like. Actually, now that I'm reading it, it doesn't really say oat milk latte. It says nitro cold brew coffee, but it is kind of like a latte. I was gonna try them out as well, even though I usually like my coffee stronger. They had 3 different flavors, and this vanilla flavor is so disgusting. She told me it was gross, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. Y'all, it tasted like spoiled milk to me, literally. I didn't even try to doctor it up. I just was like, okay, we both tried one. I'm gonna let go of these 2. Maybe I'll give it away on Buy Nothing with the caveat that it tastes like spoiled milk, I guess. I don't know. Okay, next up, this brush. I actually recently bought a new brush for myself, and I did not like it at all, so I went out and got a different one. So I just am replacing my son's brush with the newer brush. I'm getting rid of that one. Next up are these, what are they called? They're like growth food for plants that you put this in your watering can, but I've only used them a handful of times, and I didn't really notice a difference, and they're just sitting in my desk drawer being unused. So I decided I'm gonna just go ahead and pass those along to somebody else who will actually use them. Okay, next up is some paint. These 2 are actually almost empty, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of them. I don't think I can do a whole nother project with them. But this one I'm just gonna get rid of because I remember not liking this color. I tried to use it for a project and I did not like the color. I also found this glue for fabric. I think I purchased this to try to fix a hole in one of my t-shirts, and it didn't really work. And then I threw it in with my sewing items for some reason, but I have not used it since, so that's going. Okay, a couple more things. A calculator that I don't ever use. It was just in my desk. And then this thing, it's, well, it's called a response card. They use them like in college classes where you have to do like a survey in class. This one was my daughter's. My son actually has one of his own, so we don't need this one because she's not in college anymore. Phew, okay y'all, that is all. That's all for this month of June. Can you believe how much I was still able to get rid of? I can't believe it. I am going to continue down this process of decluttering, but I hope this video gave you tons of motivation, and be sure to check out the playlist link in my description box below for even more motivation. But thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.